From obliterating a moral police officer,
Virtue signaling on this show. How dare you, sir? Or ma'am, or whatever the f you are.
to dunking on the triggered kids in his own audience.
There's a form you fill out with a complaint, and I take those away and I shit on them.
Here are 9 times woke Gen Zs got destroyed by comedians, starting with Rob Schneider, schooling a woke teen who supported ruining a minor's life.
I'd also want to bring up the issue with trans in schools. I do think children should be allowed to have that knowledge on if they want to transition on what they want to do.
If I have a boy and he thinks he's a pirate, do I have the right to cut off his knee and take an eye out and give him an eye patch?
I think once it gets to that certain point.
A certain point? Like, what's the point where I can cut off my son's knee and say, because he thinks he's a pirate?
But when Captain Rob's reason was responded with the echo of a woke parrot, he made the guy walk the roast plank.
I think that's purely between the parent and the child.
Well, I don't think a parent should be allowed to do that.
You should have the option to go be educated and then still go and make the choice that you want to make.
Okay,
After
not
you
at
get
14.
that
If you are under 25 years old, they don't even let you rent a car in this state.
After his final sail through the storm of nonsense, though, Captain Rob still shared his treasure of understanding with the guy, a wealth of information he's picked up across his many career highlights, of course.
What does Avis, Enterprise, and Hertz know that the medical establishment seems so blissfully ignorant about? You are not a good decision maker at 14. You turn 18, you cut off any part you want, and I hope that you don't.
With his closing words, Rob left a glimmer of hope for the next generation, and Bill Maher picked it up, praising a rare Gen Z exception before torching the rest.
Now that the latest climate conference is underway in Glasgow, Scotland, and Greta Thunberg has once again shown the world that she is the conscience of her generation, someone must tell her, you may be the conscience of your generation, but you don't represent it. I really wish you did, Greta, but you don't. But I can show you who does.
And Bill reminded the Gen Z that the real problem wasn't straws. It was their role model made of plastic herself.
Greta, you have 13 million followers on Instagram, which is great. But Kylie Jenner has 279 million, which is more. I mean, seriously, who is the real influencer in that generation? The model citizen or the model? The young woman who refuses to fly, or the one who refuses to fly commercial?
From 18+ controversies to her Transformers dad, Bill left no microplastic of Kylie unburnt.
Now, this is not a screed against comfort or capitalism. I'm fond of both. And I give Kylie credit. She's built a massive business empire without ever releasing a sex tape. And like her dad, she's a self-made woman.
Zooming out his scope, Bill copyright striked another Gen Z icon next.
In polls, young people always claim to be more concerned about climate change than other generations, but they don't act like it. They throw around buzzwords like sustainable and shame people who forget to bring a cloth bag to Trader Joe's, but one of their favorite YouTubers is Mr. Beast, who's famous for stunts like, I gave my 40 millionth subscriber 40 cars.
Following their consumerist icon, Bill took shots at the consumerist culture itself, which worships logos over logic.
You say you love Greta and her message, but everything else you love is a climate disaster. Far from rejecting consumerism, young people are so obsessed with labels that venerable fashion houses like Balenciaga have pivoted from selling couture dresses to rich women to selling baseball hats to teenagers.
Taking a drive-by shot at Republicans, Bill crashed his roast car straight into Gen Z's blame game parade next.
And where does a 20-something get the money to pay $400 for a hat that borrows the Bernie Sanders logo because you're like a socialist and stuff? From mommy and daddy, of course, those huge assholes who ruined the planet. Oh, and also maybe by trading Bitcoin.
Fact-checking the eco-warriors, Bill shut their environmental outrage up by airing their Bitcoin usage receipts.
Cryptocurrency uses more energy than Netflix, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, and Google combined, and yet young people could not love it more if it came with a side of avocado toast. 94% of crypto buyers are either millennials or Gen Z, which makes it ring a little hollow when you're out there chanting for us to put the planet ahead of profits.
Of course, the boomer inside Bill couldn't resist calling out the virtue crowd for their own addiction epidemic.
Like Bitcoin, the smartphone is a huge contributor to carbon emissions, and all that liking and following and subscribing requires lots of fossil fuels. And yet you would need the jaws of life to pry a phone out of the hands of anyone under 30.
And Bill had some final choices for the Blame Brigade that point fingers faster than lifting them to fix anything.
Progressive or excessive? Team drastic or team plastic? When Kylie's lifestyle becomes uncool and unpopular, and you stop loving Bitcoin and stop thinking that stuffing your face is harmless, I'll take you seriously. Until then, shut the f up about how older generations ruin the planet.
Bill annihilated Gen Z for their inability to fix. And on the same note, Tony buried this next guy for spewing woke excuses before even trying.
Oh my God.
Way to ruin the whole
Take your
mood.
New York liberal bulls back with you. Oh my God.
It all went downbeat when a hilarious contestant got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity on Kill Tony.
You do seem comfortable on stage. Do you have like a theater background or something like that?
No, I'm in a couple bands. I play drums.
Really? You play drums? Whoa. Well, I mean, it's been a while since we've done this, but you guys think we should have perhaps a Mexican drum off here tonight?
But just as the crowd got ready to groove, Captain Cancel started a woke solo that killed the entire vibe.
Tony, I don't think art should be a competition. I just want an opportunity to jam with the band. Can we change it up a little
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Way to ruin the whole
Take your
mood.
New York liberal bulls back with you. Oh my God. I don't think art should be a competition. Anyway, thanks for pulling my name out of that bucket.
And while Drama Drummer eventually agreed, Tony didn't let him start without some mock beats of his own.
Jesus Christ. Virtue signaling on this show. How dare you, sir? Or ma'am, or whatever the f you are. So, you have your work cut out for you. He's already given some excuses. Maybe you've heard the classics like, I don't think art should be a competition.
And my shirt's too tight to play drums.
But while the Gen Z guy managed to rock the stage, and by rock I mean he really popped off, the rest of the culture flopped it by canceling everyone they didn't like until Ricky Gervais gave them a reality check for it.
If you're the type of person to revel in someone getting cancelled for something they said 10 years ago, you're just ensuring that one day you'll be cancelled for something you said today. You can't predict what will be offensive in the future. You don't know who the dominant mob will be.
And Ricky gave the cancel cultists the best example to prove his common sense point.
The worst thing you can say today, get you cancelled on Twitter, death threats, whatever, the worst thing you can say today is, women don't have p***s, right? Now, no one saw that coming. You won't find a 10-year-old tweet of someone saying, women don't have p***s. Do you know why? We didn't think we had to.
But Ricky wasn't finished taking the Twitter tyrants to the cleaner yet.
But now there's so much outrage and we hear about it and it's taken seriously, you know? There's Oxbridge comedians writing for the posh papers, telling you the rules of comedy. They're laying it down, laying down the law, right? And it's all stuff like, comedy should punch up. You should never punch down.
Dragging down even toddlers with him, Ricky schooled the Instagram-educated crowd on comedy next.
Sometimes you've got to punch down, like if you're beating up a disabled toddler. You know what I mean? I like that joke because it highlights the difference between metaphorical punching down in jokes and actual punching down. But people nowadays want you to believe that words are actual violence, right?
By chance, if any triggered troop has survived his special so far, Ricky had one last lethal message for them.
It's the deal, right? So I riff. If I say something tonight that's so offensive, so off that you've never heard anything so off the charts in your life, right? Don't make a scene. Go to the box office after the show. They can't give you money back straight away, but there's a form you fill out with a complaint, and I take those away and I shit on them.
Ricky wasn't happy flushing the Twitter team just once, and he did it again in another special, Armageddon, starting with his explanation behind the name.
So this show is called Armageddon, and it's all about how I think humanity might end, because there's a long list of possibilities, you know? We're on a precipice, you know? It could be anything from global warming, the rise of the pandemic, you know, nuclear war, our own stupidity.
But Ricky's disappointment reached new heights when he found out that instead of physics, Gen Z was learning a pop singer's lyrics.
Because we are getting more stupid as a species, no doubt about that. You can now do a university degree course in Taylor Swift. How low academically can you go? There's an institute in London called the School of Flower Arranging. I looked in, and there's people having lectures.
Taking a page from Maher's book, Ricky made an exhausting list of all of Accusation Academy's constant outrage.
Yeah, the Earth is in a terrible mess, and it's my fault, my generation's fault, and the generation before, the boomers, with their deforestation and their fossil fuels, ruining the ozone layer, raising the temperature by a few degrees, so parasites, you know, bacteria, and these zootropic pandemics.
In response, Ricky listed his own no-mercy prophecy of Gen Z's politically correct dystopia.
If you're 20 years old now, you're going to have a very different middle age to me. I've had the best 60 years of civilization, right? But if you're 20 now, in 40 years' time, you're going to be in your house wearing a mask, crying like you do now over jokes.
While Ricky spelled out Gen Z's grim future, Veer put a spotlight on the country's pathetic present, where sentiments are louder than logic.
I asked a college kid, I'm like, what does it mean to be woke? She was like, to be woke means to realize, to recognize, to organize, and then to vocalize. That describes everything from a book club to a Nazi rally, all right?
Before taking a flight to the woke states, however, Veer shared his experience visiting Canada first.
Montreal might be the most comfortable immigration experience I've ever had. There was no paperwork, no questions. The guy just gave me a kiss on my cheek. He was like, that's it. He was just like, welcome home. I was like, but I'm just visiting. He's like, that is what they all say.
Moving from polite Canada to over-the-top America, Veer traced just how extreme the culture had become.
Is that accent offensive? The thing is, I don't know. I live in India. We don't know. Getting offended is something privileged people do. And we just got privileged last week. It's very exciting.
And even as an outsider, Veer acutely skewered the Gen Z habit of getting triggered for someone else.
Now in the West, you've had privilege for years. You've taken offense to another level. Like Americans can get offended on other people's behalf. It's a very American thing. I'm offended for you. What you went through is so stressful. I'm going to take the day off. But you're very proactive. You're all about justice. You see something wrong on the streets, you take your phone out and you film it.
On an appreciative note, though, Veer thanked the outrage outlet for adding new chapters to his dictionary.
Every time an American films a hate crime, in the background you can see an Indian just walking to work. I didn't see anything. I don't have my green card yet. But in the West, you're very, what's the word? Woke. That's a word I learned, woke.
Next, Veer took some friendly fire on his own country, before pointing out how Gen Z's slogans are as vague as their cause.
That's the reason I travel, to learn new words. It's not to expand my audience. I'm Indian. My audience is expanding as we speak right now.
And to finish it all off, Veer flipped the script on the wannabe activists in their own language.
I want to be one of these comedians who can write woke jokes for woke people. I've tried. Do you want to hear them, yeah? Knock, knock. Well, if you need to hear the sound of somebody's voice before you let them into your apartment, what does that say about your elitist privilege, huh?
Just like Veer gave Gen Z a taste of their own medicine, Jimmy Carr pulled a similar trick by announcing he was joining the Snow White movie boycott.
The new Snow White! Did I see the new Snow White? I'm boycotting the new Snow White, my friend. I'm boycotting it.
Just as the small Gen Z kids bit the apple, though, Jimmy told them it was poisonous, and the dwarves were the real culprits.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm boycotting it, because I've got friends that are dwarves. One, that it's a problem. The dwarf community are very upset about the Snow White film because they use CGI nonsense rather than dwarf actors. Basically, they're angry, they're not grumpy.
Not stopping at verbal humiliation, Jimmy's evil queen arc ended with a physical demonstration against the dwarves.
Hope I don't get cancelled by the dwarves again. I think I'll be all right. Let me just practice. Yeah, I'm good.
The dwarves caught Jimmy strays for no reason, but the same can't be said for Anthony DeVito, whose inner dark thoughts were vocalized by Gen Z haters.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to feel better about myself. But the voice in my head just attacks me relentlessly. Just like, you're a horrible person, terrible comedian, bad father. I don't have kids. But But now I gotta put my stand-up on social media, and that's the thing about Gen Z, man.
Anthony immediately called out the moral hypocrisy of smartphone crusaders, taking even lethal slander in good faith.
Paper, you're like, mental health is important. But then on TikTok, you're like, die, cringe fascist. It's like, I donate. Like, I don't, you know. Like, I put up a clip the other day. Somebody immediately commented, oh, he looks like a young Jeffrey Epstein.
When another commenter went for an even worse sequel, though, Anthony called it right on the spot.
But then somebody else commented underneath, young question mark? That pissed me off. You don't get to say a mean thing and then tag it with a meaner thing. Just someone like, he resembles a famous pedophile. And someone else like, but not in their prime.
While DeVito still went easy on them, the same can't be said for Bill Burr, who exposed woke Gen Z for exactly who they are.
People who get offended they're childish people. They're not adults, because they'll sit there and they'll let 100 subjects goes by and it's all a joke, and then it gets to their neck of the woods, and then all of a sudden it's a statement, and you're up there like, you know, getting legislation.
Before Bill's gunfire could reach his younger targets, though, he went after the older culprits that add fuel to the cancellation fire.
What's it like to be a comedian in 2016?
It's the exact same way as it was in 2006 and in 1996. It's a completely exaggerated. They make it seem like you walk into the club and there's people out there with signs and they're throwing stuff at you. Yeah. They aren't. It's just completely media manufactured.
Not stopping there, Bill highlighted the biggest problem with headline hordes.
Like, you could literally genetically alter the food. You can create a heroin epidemic. They're not going to bring that up. But if you do a Caitlyn Jenner joke every night for 2 years and one person complains, there's a chance that they'll blow it up. It's basically like lazy journalism. It's an easy story.
Next, Bill pointed out how a single keyboard warrior's outrage can turn into a front page headline.
People who go to comedy, they're generally speaking, 99% of them, they're adults. They know that they're seeing a joke, but they shine the light on the one lunatic who loves seals or something, or whatever the hell it is that you do.
Well, everybody hates seals. You're right about that.
I got to close in 15 on those goddamn seals.
And for all their misplaced power, Bill pointed out the biggest irony of the moral mob.
The fact that you can get fired for something that you said in 2005, it's like everybody here, if all your emails and cell phone texts of the last 6 weeks were made public, well, could anybody go to work on Monday?
Before signing off, though, Bill reminded everyone how the hashtag hit team can destroy careers in seconds.
What I'm saying is that, like, all of that outrage, it doesn't add up to anything.
Because they're threatening to take something away, like if you have a show or something like that. Is that what you're saying? Like the guardians of the...
Yeah, then they're going to take away your, whatever the best thing in your life is, they're going to take that away, because then that makes you a better person.
And it just goes to show that the career-destroying kids deserve every roast that comes their way.